Hey guys, how's it going? I'm working on a Doctor Who drawing this week. This is actually my color study is that's what I call this. It's basically it's a very sketchy kind of color guide. It's where I'm establishing the basic colors and how I want to approach the full coloring. So rather than just going right into it and guessing, I will create this sketch, this color sketch, and use that as kind of a guide. So that's what I'm working on this morning. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate your support. And if you're interested in more of my work, you can commission comic art over at my Etsy store. There's a link there on the, let me see if I can point correctly, there on the bottom left. The little links pop up there to my Etsy store. I have a Patreon page. You can become a member. You can sign up for free for that. That's updated twice a week. And I also have an eBay store with original comic art prints, signed comics, some pretty cool stuff there listed daily. So I hope you'll take a browse around all of those different channels. In the meantime, I'm going to get right to it here. So I started coloring this over the weekend, just doing, like I said, a basic color sketch over the inked art. I need to pull up a photo reference of Doctor Who. Tom Baker, the actor Tom Baker, is where I started. This ended up being sort of I don't know, like a universal depiction of Doctor Who as a character. It's not so much a direct likeness of Tom Baker. And I wanted to do something a little different. So I made this Doctor Who a bit more mysterious looking. He kind of almost has a cosmic look about him. Got a little bit of a natural gleam in his eye. I just thought that would be fun to explore. Most of the art that I've seen has just been really very straightforward and direct of Doctor Who and what we would expect to see. So my take on Doctor Who is looking a little different. I need to look at something here on my Streamlabs. Looks like the image is stretched just slightly. Not really sure why. That's not it. Display capture. I'm just gonna see if I can. Yeah, it looks like it got stretched a little bit, so I'm gonna make a little adjustment here to my screen. So as you can see, I'm not really devoting much time to being, clean and precise with the coloring. These are just very basic. I'm not coloring inside the lines so much here. I'm not sure how other colorists approach their their work and process, but for me, I like to have this basic color sketch. A lot of browns, warm colors here for his scarf. Try to make this a little more accurate. I'm not sure how much people notice, fans of Doctor Who notice these sort of things, but I'm just going to assume that they do. So I want to make sure all these stripes are pretty accurate. Calling this dark Doctor Who. He's a little sinister looking. I thought Tom Baker was pretty funny, though. I haven't watched all of the different Doctors over the years, but Tom Baker's just had this very wry sense of humor. The way he portrayed Doctor Who, I think. All right, that's close. Do a little estimation of his hair color. His hair almost has a little bit of a reddish hue to it. This piece will be for sale soon. If you're interested, you can hop over to my eBay store and find it here in a few days, maybe. Kind of a purple there. And then the TARDIS. Take a look at that. Try and capture the right blue. Looks like it varies quite a bit. Kind of like this white logo. It's actually kind of cool. Might just leave that. I don't know. Hey, I know, right? He was, and he's really hard to draw too. I realized because he has kind of this crazed look in his eye, and if you don't draw it his expression in just the right way, he looks kind of evil, and I don't want him to look that way. He's just got such a weird, his eyes are kind of very intense. He's just got a real intensity to his face. And ultimately I decided it would be better to have his eyes shadowed, and it kind of gives him a more mysterious look. Figure out how to do the shading here, so I'm just gonna jump right into it. Yeah, he's got like almost a Sherlock Holmes kind of. He probably would have made a great Sherlock Holmes. Quite sure what to do with this logo yet, so I'm just gonna experiment a little bit with the colors. This is almost like coloring with markers, just a very kind of loose. I kind of like that. I think just the white is pretty impactful against all this other color. Purple there. lot of my space scenes, I am pretty influenced by an artist named Robert McCall. He was a painter for NASA, and so he painted a lot of their marketing materials, and he painted these huge murals at Cape Canaveral and different places that he was commissioned. And his space scenes just were filled with all of this energy and cosmic clouds and planets that would have these long shadows stretching behind them. And it's just a really captivating vibrancy to his space paintings. And he was also one of the concept artists for Star Trek: The Motion Picture. He designed the V'ger spaceship, and a lot of the space scenes that you see in that movie are they're taken from his art. So I'm trying to channel that a little bit here. Just want to blur the stuff out a little bit. I need to kind of get a better sense of the colors and how they're going to blend. Alright, I think that's pretty close to what I envisioned. I really had the idea of just getting a lot of green in it. So save this as a JPEG. Now I'm going to call this Color Study. And I'm going to just remove that and that. I'm going to open up that JPEG. So now I have this as a separate file that I'm going to drag over here to my other screen. So what I typically like to do is, right now I was working in Clip Studio, but I'm going to go back into Photoshop and open this back up. Here. So my next step is to create the flats. The flats are just defining all of the individual objects or pieces that will be colored. To do that, I use a lasso tool and just start lassoing those sections, like his hat, for instance. So there's my color study. There's his hat. Get his face. I'm just selecting the colors that I chose on my JPEG here. This is my color study. Usually I hire a flatter. These are colorists who, that's kind of what they do, is they go through and flat the line art. But for this, it's so simple that it's just quicker for me to just do it. So I guess the music's too loud. See if I can adjust that. How's that? Does that sound better? So, I guess Tom Baker is doing he does a radio show, Doctor Who, where he narrates, he does the voice for Doctor Who. I'm really curious to listen to that. I'm not sure where it might be available, but I want to check that out. Our background, basic background. TARDIS. Go and get this logo flatted. So I bought this old iMac. It's a 2010, mid-2010 model. I bought that, and it came with a keyboard and mouse, and I paid $25 for it, thinking that I could resell it. I thought, well, I can flip it. I can probably sell it and make maybe $100, $200, since it has the mouse and keyboard. But I learned that the iMac 2010 is pretty much obsolete. You can't really do much of anything with it as far as computer work. Apple doesn't support it. The OS can't be updated, and so most websites won't display correctly, and there's no security protection when you are online. Most apps don't work with it, so it's kind of like I really can't sell it, so I decided to keep it and use it as a just a TV for playing movies, and so I set it up over on my filing cabinet, so when I'm drawing I can actually play movies on the iMac, and it looks really good. It's in great condition, and the screen quality is, it's not 4K, but it's pretty nice. Yeah, probably could find an emulator, but for now I'm using it as my my movie station, because when I'm at the drawing table, I can see it. So I bought the and I sold all my DVDs several years back when streaming was, you know, all the rage. That was the big thing. And I thought, well, I'll never use these DVDs. They're just taking up space. So I sold them all. Now I wish I had them back. So I bought the Star Trek films, the 1 through 6 collection. It's not the latest one. It's the one from 2009, which I've read some reviews about it, and of course it's not as good as what's available now, but I don't think it's going to matter for what I'm using it. I mean, it's just going to be on that iMac, sort of at a distance. So I don't think it's going to make a big difference that it's not the latest and greatest video quality. But I haven't watched those movies in a long time, so I'm looking forward to having those on at work. It just sucks that Apple shuts these devices down. It's such a huge waste. You know, you've got millions of these iMacs now that are just going to end up in a landfill probably, when they're in perfectly good shape. I mean, the one I bought, it literally looks brand new. Like it was, you know, like it was never used. There's not a scratch on it. It has there's this tiny little chip on the corner that doesn't affect anything. But other than that, I mean, it's like new condition. And it's just a shame that all that stuff is just junk now. I think it's funny they haven't changed the Doctor Who logo in 60 years or something. Yeah, that's my thought, is to do something like that, and just having it for movies. I could play music on it too, I suppose, but I mean, it still has some use. Yeah, that Commodore 64 looks pretty good. I may have to get one of those eventually. Can't really do it right now, but think I'm going to tackle this background first. Drag this over here. Alright, so I've got my flats done in Photoshop. Now let's take it back into Clip Studio. If I can find it. Our color study over here. Oops. So now it's just a matter of matching up these colors and starting the actual coloring. Whoops, wrong one. So I just heard the new Guns N' Roses song, and Axl's voice is suspiciously really good, like AI good. I wonder, I have to wonder if they didn't really mess with his vocals, because he sounds not at all like he sounds live. His voice is pretty terrible in concert. I mean, Axl Rose's voice is an acquired taste anyway, but it was pretty shocking how he sounded in this new song. He hit all these incredibly high notes, did the usual screeching that really haven't heard him do. Anyway, it's worth checking out. Yeah, it's almost certainly auto-tuned, but maybe even more than that. I started watching Spinal Tap 2. I haven't finished it yet. Pretty good. I mean, it's not gut-busting funny, but it's very amusing. It's funny. It's just not, I don't know. It doesn't feel quite as the same level as the first one. But those guys are still pretty sharp. If it's as ad-libbed as I think it is. The scene with Paul McCartney was pretty good. How he walks in and they're all stammering, and Derek Smalls says, "Should we salute?" They don't know what to do. And Paul talking about how, it's literature. Big bottom. It's funny, but then the whole Rob Reiner tragedy, that's just puts a whole different spin to it. I haven't really kept up on the latest developments with that, but man, it's just terrible. Yeah, David's very snooty about it. I do like how there's all this still. There's like in band arguments and strife. What I've seen so far, it's just amusing. I will say it's amusing. There hasn't been anything where I just, you know, laughed. I mean, there's some funny stuff in it. I'll probably have to watch it again. Maybe just kind of let it absorb it a little bit more. Don't spoil it. So I guess the Rolling Stones have canceled their tour. Sounds like Keith Richards may be having some health issues. He said he's not, he just can't do it. So this could be the actual end. Yeah, I think they probably should have retired maybe 5 or 6 years ago. Just that should have been it. Sting is going to be in Tampa, but tickets are ridiculous. It's like $500 for the cheapest seat. I can't do that. I can't justify that. I would like to see him live, but can't do that. That's just too much. Alright, I think the background is pretty done. Let's see what we can do with the TARDIS. I don't know, did the Who finish their tour? Did not really pay any attention to what came of that. They're in pretty bad shape too. shading here. Yeah, that seemed to be the case. I don't know. They're all just becoming kind of an embarrassment. All right, there's the TARDIS. I am going to wrap up the live stream in a few minutes. So my new schedule, the new live stream schedule is Mondays and Fridays. It's 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. So I was doing these every day. Didn't really feel like it was. I didn't really have as much to really show every day, and I didn't want to do live streams with me. Organizing files or doing stuff that wasn't all that interesting. So I'm consolidating all of that to 2 weekly live streams. I gotta let my dogs in. We can work on his face just a little bit here before I sign out for the day. So if you're interested in purchasing the Doctor Who illustration, I will have it listed on my eBay store soon. Just keep an eye on that. You can find the link from the bottom left screen. And if you're watching this, the recorded live stream, the links are there in the description, so you can head over to my eBay store, browse around. There's a lot of pretty cool things there. I've got original comic art. I've got art prints. My art prints look and feel almost identical to the original comic art page, but they are a fraction of the cost. So it's a pretty good option if you can't do the original art. I also have signed comics and new items there daily that I list. I've been a little bit absent there for the last few days, but I'm hoping to get a bunch of new pieces in the queue over the weekend, including the Doctor Who drawing that you see here. And you can also find works in progress, process shots, exclusive digital previews of upcoming comics. I have a sequel to Saga of a Doomed Universe that's in the works, starting on the third and final issue next month. But if you're a Patreon subscriber, you can download the first 27 pages, and it's a first draft. It's actually not the final version of that issue, so it's a pretty special preview of that miniseries that's coming up. And that's really it, guys. Thank you for hanging out. I appreciate your support, and I hope you enjoyed watching this process of me coloring Doctor Who. I will see you back here Friday.